Hi everyone, welcome back to this Mindfulness Monday video. So I am going to be doing a fluid art technique and I'm going to be using an open cup and my palette knife to do a swipe. But the whole point of this series of videos is to demonstrate how we can almost switch off our autopilot, escape and really mindfully take time for ourselves. Mindfulness is all about being in the present moment and really taking note of what you're doing. So for this video, let's not really worry about the end result of this creation, but let's live through each process as we take it in turn. So I've put some paint on my canvas, and whilst I practice my mindfulness, all I need to really do is think about the paint going from my cup onto the canvas, and then I'll use my palette knife to spread that paint out across the canvas. Now mindfulness is about being in the present moment and having a look about what's around you, noticing every single thing that you come into contact with, but whilst only doing this exercise. So I've got no pressure on myself about what I'm doing later on or what's already happened today. The only thing I really need to do whilst practicing my own mindfulness when I switch off my autopilot is think about this paint on the canvas with my palette knife. You probably hear about mindfulness quite a lot, and a lot of people don't really know what it is. For me, it's about switching off your autopilot and noticing and being in the present of now. So for this video tutorial, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to worry about the end creation that we're making. We're just going to notice ourselves in the present moment of now. We're really looking at that paint falling off the canvas onto the table and looking at the coat of paint that's left on the canvas. We're noticing the bubbles that are within the paint and how that torch eradicates those bubbles and pops them. So I don't know if you're like me, but I discovered fluid art because I was wanting to find a different outlet for my stressful day. I had quite a busy, hectic job, and my art and creativity was my way of unwinding and taking time out of my autopilot. So of course, for this video, I am going to use fluid art techniques for me to just stop whatever I'm doing and enjoy the moment of now. I'm really enjoying the moment that I'm creating a piece of art. It doesn't have to be any good. If I create something that I like, then that's a bonus. But what I'm doing is I'm practicing my own mindfulness creatively by being in the here and now. So what I mean is I'm really noticing the paint that I'm putting into the cup. I'm noticing every colour that I'm using, the volume of paint as it reaches the top of the cup. I'm noticing all those small details that you wouldn't normally recognise or notice in everyday life. And I'm going to really notice the paint as it escapes from the bottom of the cup onto the surface of the canvas, and how that paint reduces in volume in the cup itself. I'm really practicing my mindfulness in the here and now and noticing all those type of details. And let's face it, when you paint, you automatically know that happens. But what you're doing is you're pausing everything else to really notice the here and now. So I'm going to fill the cup up again with the paint, taking one colour at a time, putting some paint within the cup and then swapping it over for another colour. And I'm going to do that until the paint reaches the top of the cup, and then I will slowly release the paint from the bottom of the cup. If you're new to my channel, a big hello and welcome. Every Monday until the end of the year, I'm releasing a new video that supplements a course that I've written and that's available online, and I'll drop those details in the comments below. If you'd like to learn more about mindfulness and how you can incorporate art and creativity into a mindfulness practice, then check out the course that I've written and designed. I'm sure you'd love it. Wow, look at those vibrant colours. That red is just bursting in the middle of that painting. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split those colours up a little bit, and I'm going to combine another technique, another fluid art technique of the swipe method. I'm going to use a little bit of Australian Floetrol mixed with titanium white, and I'm going to take my palette knife, so the surface of the palette knife is covered by the paint. And then I'm just going to carefully and gently place the palette knife on the surface of the canvas and pull the palette knife across the paint to create some cells and lacing. I'm not applying too much pressure, it's literally just gliding across the surface. Wow, really notice all those cells and lacing that have appeared. They're absolutely stunning. And that's the whole point about just taking that minute to really look at what you're doing. Really feel that palette knife as it glides across the surface of that paint on the canvas and looking at the pattern that it leaves behind. In my regular videos, I do talk about the technique and my approach in more detail. So if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that this isn't my normal approach. But I just wanted to demonstrate that we can all practice mindfulness creatively by just being in the present moment and really noticing what's happening as you create. I'm just going to use my torch to get rid of some of those air bubbles that I can see on the surface. That torch will pop those air bubbles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my creation and I'm going to stretch it into a design that I like. But remember, when you're practicing your own mindfulness, it's really not about the end creation. You've practiced mindfulness today by just watching what I've done, and I'd encourage you to also try this approach for yourself. Really feel that paint that you layer on your canvas. Really feel those paint brushes or those palette knives or those cups that you use or any tool that you use within fluid art. In the course that I've written, I do other techniques, not just for fluid art, but all types of creativity. I've actually created something that I really like, and I'm going to continue stretching that out because it's a piece that I'm going to keep. I'm going to really look at that paint as it travels across the canvas. I'm going to really feel that paint as it drops onto my hand from the canvas itself. It's a completely different sensation and temperature. I'll show you the close-up of this design, and as I said, it's something that I'm going to keep. I hope you've really enjoyed this next Mindful Monday video. There's a couple more before the end of the year, and remember, if you want to learn more about mindfulness, then check out my course. All the details are listed in the description below. Thanks again everyone for joining me for this Mindful Monday video, and I'll see you later on in the week when I'll be releasing a really special piece, so I hope you can catch me on Wednesday. Take care everyone, bye.